what is your feeling about that?
Well, I'm just hugely grateful at the age that I am that I'm still working. And that's a wonderful thing about this profession, that we can keep working as long as we keep our marbles. And essentially, I don't feel much older than I was when I was 30. But obviously, I look older than I am. And I'm just so thrilled that this part came along for a mature woman of un certain âge. Thank you, Woody.
Well, Gemma's, the reason that Tony Hopkins dumps her in the movie is not so much that she's older. It's that she won't stop bothering him about his own age. So she's pestering him. She's telling him, you're not a young man anymore. You're not 21. Don't do those exercises. You're not young. And nobody wants to hear that. I mean, he wants to hear, something more comforting than that. So if you're living with a woman and she's constantly telling you, face reality, face the truth, you're older, then he panics and dumps her. But it's not simply a question of, I want a young person. It's a question of, that he doesn't want to keep hearing the awful truth, that in fact that he is not young and that things are starting to go wrong for him, and that, he's got to face up to his finite mortality sooner or later. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking you.
Well, no, I thought your answer was really honest and real, and kind of what we all feel and fear, but and probably not brave enough to say. But I feel the same as I always did. But you do have these really lousy reminders, like backaches and eyesight, and glimpses in mirrors and shop windows and things that just remind you that you're not as young as you were. But I feel pretty good now. But get back to me in 10 years.
And you never think about this, right?
Obviously not. You know what? It's a great thing about people like Woody getting older and working with Woody is that you're allowed to buy presents. The presents, like a wrap party present, become much more finite and easier to come up with. Like with Woody, with this movie, I got him a walker, a beautiful walker with 2 little tennis balls, and he was grateful for it.
We'll take one more. So.
Trying out here. Hi, Jan Lumholt, Svenska Dagbladet in Stockholm. I'm going to stick to this subject of the if I won't get the girl, I won't do the part in the film. In my part of the world, in Scandinavia, there is a lot of comments every time you have a film out. People love your films, don't get me wrong. I mean, they're doing really well, but there will always be comments. Oh, again, there is the theme of a young girl and an older man, whether he's played by you or Larry David or Anthony Hopkins in this case. Just want you to share some thoughts, and maybe your colleagues can say something as well. Whether it is such a big deal that there is an older man and a younger woman, and if it's something to be very provoked by, and in this specific film, it's the most cynical story of a, what do you call it, May-December relationship I've ever seen in a Woody Allen film. It's almost like your P.S. Adora or something like that. So please share some thoughts on this.
Well, it's a good gimmick for drama and laughter. And I've done, 40, 41 films, and I've used it, several times. I mean, out of all my films, I've really only used it, 2, 3 times. And it's a good laugh getter and a good, it's a provocative kind of thing. So that's really why I use it. I mean, when I did it years ago in Manhattan, because when we were writing that, we thought that would be a funny idea. And I used it again with Larry David many years later because I thought it would be funny. And here it had a more ominous quality to it. But it's got a good quality. But I don't really do it very often. I mean, I've done it a few times, but not not much really, but I like it. I mean, it gives me something to write when I'm home and I'm trying to think of dramatic scenes or comic scenes. It gives me something that you can get good situations from and good jokes from, and I enjoy it.
I'm afraid our time is up. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here with us today.